it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Travis, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4, and the checkered flag, he wins his first NASCAR iRacing.
Good morning everybody and welcome to ARL-TV. This is the V8 Supercar series, round 10 from the Suzuka Moto layout no less. A few changes to the track. For those that are expecting the normal layout, we've got an extra chicane and Casio Triangle has been moved back a little bit. I'm joined with my co-commentator. He's back from his holidays, Andrew Woodhouse.
Good morning mate, it's good to be back.
And also with us is Dean Prescott as well.
Good morning guys.
So round 10 V8 Supercar Series, looking at the championship standings at the moment. Tommy Kumpar sitting at the top, but he is closely followed by Tobias, who has got a couple of drop races in hand over him. And Trevor Johnson with just the one drop race behind as well is well in contention. What do we expect from this race today? And those three going to be fighting for the victory.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to go some to look past those three championship contenders. I think for this race, but who knows? It's Suzuka, anything can happen. You know, it's a difficult track, so well, we're going to see some action. I think though here.
Yeah, just want to give a quick shout out, nice and early on, to our sponsors as well, Paganini and Imports. Thanks for those guys who donate the prizes for this championship, and as well as. Let's not forget the guys who make it happen. That's Mark Noble and Tom Jones over at Apex Racing League. Also, if you want to get in touch with us today, you can do so via Facebook or Twitter at Apex Racing TV for Twitter and ARL-TV for Facebook. Got just about 2 minutes left of qualifying to go. We'll give you a rundown when the guys are on the last lap, but you can see the ticker scrolling across at the moment. I think Suzuka, guys, always a good track. I mean, I know some cars it can be difficult to overtake on. This layout, obviously, with the chicane being a little bit further back, will that give the guys a bit more of a chance to have a run into that corner?
I think it has to. I think just by moving it back, it will encourage overtaking. 130R. Not flat in these cars, I don't think, so it's going to be that's a corner that definitely you can get an advantage on if you're quicker than the car in front. Dean, you had a little drive of this track before the race. What do you make of it?
It's very difficult actually in this track, in this car, sorry. Actually here last week in the Daytona prototype, so not on this track layout, but yeah, having a quick blast around.
How did you get on last week then?
Yeah, let's not actually.
Oh dear.
I think I did a Simpson.
Oh dear.
Oh.
Yeah, pushing as hard as I could. Front tyres just weren't sticking, so 130R just completely lost it.
Oh dear, that's not the place you want to lose it on this track, is it?
But the final chicane, actually, it's a little difficult because it's tighter than what you think. Compared to the one that's just before it, it's a lot tighter. And your braking point isn't sighted as well, so yeah, it's quite difficult to find a spot for that one.
I think the guys will be coming on to their final laps now. We've just got about 8 seconds to go. I wonder if we can give a provisional rundown of the grid.
Kind of did. It's quite a small grid here this week actually, and but we can see that Trevor Johnson leads the way, and he's on a 2 minutes 10.2, so it's a long lap here, even longer actually with the new extra chicane and the slower one at the end of the lap. Chris Stone joins him on the front row. Well, at least he did until Tobias Journey's just put in a 2:10.6 to overtake him there. Chris Stone and Richardson Mankiewicz then make up row 2. In 5th place is Will Dodd for KRF Coastal Motorsports. Luke Emerton in 6th. Then Chris Brooks and Cedric Finsack are 7th and 8th. Craig Jones in 9th. Mark Noble in 10th. And then Nick Rainbird 11th at the moment, but he'll surely improve soon. And Jamie Peters is at the back in 12th.
Interesting to see that the championship leader hasn't actually made it onto the server in time, so don't think we'll be seeing him today. The one advantage that you get with the series is that there is a few drop rounds, so if you can't make it, it's not all lost.
I think this isn't a bad one to drop actually. I think it's a tough round. This it's an hour and 30 minutes as well as the race, so I'm not going to be honest, put too much money on us having more than 5 guys still there at the end, but I hope to be proved wrong. We had 16 people take to the track in practice and only 12 qualifiers so far. Some of them I think are trying to desperately get a lap in at the end. Romer Alcala is one of those who hasn't set a time yet, Alex, and he's only really been part-time this season, hasn't he? And I wonder, has he mentioned anything to you about what he's going to be doing next season?
No, he hasn't actually. I know obviously he's got a little newborn on his hands at the moment, which is what keeps him away. So yeah, hopefully he'll be at a point later on in the season where he can start making a few more races and come back. But naturally, his priority's got to be towards his family and his other half.
That's it. And now he's come across the line and he goes 12th with that effort, 2:17.3. So, but he looked like he was being very cautious. I think just wanting to get a time in. That's not a bad thing in the late going here in qualifying, and that's the session actually finished. He was the last man across the line, Alcala. So we have a 17 car grid, but as to how many of those are going to actually take the start, not too sure yet. Alex, what's the key to this track? You're a specialist around here. What do you make of it?
Yeah, the key thing around here is just to get into a really good rhythm, nice and early on. Through the S's, that first section, just have to have confidence that the car's going to do what you want it to do, and so if you can find a good rhythm through that first sector, and perhaps the second sector through the Degner as it carries on through there, then you're going to be in a really good position throughout the race. If you can hook up the whole lap consistently and get comfy, then yeah, you're going to be right out there at the end of it.
Just a quick note as well, if you make a mistake on this track, Alex, gravel will punish you, and that's a rarity these days, isn't it?
Oh, indeed. So, especially around the Degner corners, that's where it can make a big difference.
I think we saw a few years back, I think Mark Webber possibly nearly rolled a car in the Degners, didn't he? That's how difficult it is there, and cars are lined up on the grid now. So yeah. Dean, who's your money on for this one?
Looking at the pace, Trevor Johnson's on it again, but you can never doubt Tobias.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good race between those. Let's hope Trevor gets a good first lap. That seems to be his Achilles heel, those first couple of laps. About 15 seconds to go before the lights come on. Just the last of the cars take to the grid.
Just about ready for the start here. Revs are rising at Suzuka. And the green light is on, and it's a good start by Johnson. twitching away a little bit, but he's managed to get to the first corner cleanly, as does everybody else. Cherney settles into second. Stone in third, fourth is Stamenkovic. There's contact there, and off goes Craig Jones. Jones off on the very first corner. Johnson's leading under pressure from Cherney then. To go through the S's the first time. Very technical section here, gentlemen.
Yeah, very, very tricky. First corner, tyres are cold. Everybody be fighting for a little bit of grip.
Down towards the infamous Technical curves then. First one is much faster than the second. Careful to take a little bit of curb there, not too much on the inside. You can run, you can unsettle the car there as Cherney sliding the back end. As we go up towards the hairpin for the first time. First real overtaking opportunity on the track. Johnson covers the inside. Now it's important to get a good drive up towards this newly modified version out here, the chicane. It's quite tight here, isn't it? But
yeah, just the one line through there, so drivers are going to struggle really to get a run going into Spoon, but it's always a tricky overtake there. So
reasonable speed through there as well. Dean, what did you make of that chicane when you drove there just a few minutes ago?
It's very unsighted. You can't exactly pick a braking point, but once you've done a few laps, I'm pretty sure you'll pick up where you need to go.
Johnson down the back straight then towards the frightening 130R. It's pretty easy in a Formula 1 car, but in these cars it must be terrifying. Turns it in about 120 miles an hour. Gets on the curb, you don't want to get too far over that one. As now they're going to brake for this original version of the Casio chicane.
So I've got someone on the slowdown. All the coastal guys.
Chris Stone was a long way. It's been dropped quite a way back there, Alex. Good first lap by the two leaders.
yeah, they had the pace in qualifying. I think we've seen that, so I'm not surprised they're jumping away. But quite a spread actually. I mean, Stone's pulling away as well from P4.
And he's back on. Sorry, Alex, he just went a bit wide there, missed his braking point. For turn one, we see a battle going on then for fifth. Will Dodd just in front of Luke Emerton. Sorry, Chris Brooks and then Cedric Finsack. So Emerton might have had the slowdown there, Dane, I think.
Yeah, I think it was.
KRF Coastal Kitchenware Motorsports Racing thing.
Yeah, it's quite difficult actually 130R. I've had it a few times last week. Two wheels on the inside, you do not get an off track, but you do get a slowdown.
Yeah, and you've got to be precise through there as well. I know if you get towards the exit curb, it can be a problem. I had an incident there myself in GT races here. So out of the hairpin for the second time.
Looks like Luke Emerton coming under a little pressure from one of the no-third cars.
Yeah, going backwards a little bit. You'd expect Rainbird to be up there by the end of the race. I think he said he might have took a wrong turn in qualifying. He might have gone over the wrong chicane, so I think that was possibly why he was so far down the grid. I think Rainbird will settle in though. It's an hour and 30 minutes as well, this, boys, so if you make a mistake early, you've got to be careful not to make a mistake early. It's a long haul here.
The person who's lost out the most at the moment, looking at the standings, Craig Jones. He's actually been into the pits. I'm not sure what happened to him, but all the way back down to 16th.
Jones went off at the very first corner with contact, so don't know exactly what happened there. I'm sure we might be able to have a look at that later, but away goes Johnson. So I think Cherney might have had a bit of trouble with the chicane, and that has cost him over a second here. So Cherney 2.1 behind now. As we see further back down the straight there, Dean, we've got Will Dodd coming under a bit of pressure from Chris Brooks. Side by side, Emerton and Rainbird.
Just trying to catch up actually, because my graphics drivers have just had another dog.
Yeah,
Sounds painful.
Chris Brooks sitting in P6, trying to close that gap. He's going to have to deal with, who's the green? Is that yeah, Yeah, Cedric Finsack, isn't it? Yeah.
Finsack up in 7th. We mentioned before he's showing strongly this season. Much
vastly improving.
I know some of that possibly double team leading the championship, first and second, but some of that is, of course, is his driver improvement clearly, and Finsack still keeping these guys honest. You can see Will Dodd having a good run as well. I've lost count of the amount of times he's been caught up in other people's incidents at the start this season.
There's been a lot of connectivity issues out there as well. A lot of blinking going on today, so to keep an eye on that. Hopefully we don't lose anyone through a disconnection.
I've noticed, Alex, that the drivers are putting quite a lot of the car over the inside curb in that the new chicane, so to speak, in the middle sector, and so I have to keep an eye on that, seeing nobody's gaining an advantage from doing that. How difficult, Alex, is it to follow a car around this track? I mean, you've done it before. I remember some epic PS3 F1 races around here as well. Do you get sucked into the rhythm of the car in front, or can you still use as Brooks up the inside into 130 out there?
Yeah, great little move. I think
Can you still drive your own race?
You can do that. Like you said, you can get sucked into their pace. So when you get up to the back of them, you will want to try and make a move within the first couple of laps. Otherwise, you'll just slow down to their rhythm.
Especially through the S's, I'm guessing that's difficult. Oh, it's Johnson. Oh, went in very hot into turn 2 and very sideways. He managed to save it, but he's probably lost about half a second there. That's the sort of mistake that Johnson will be desperately trying not to make at this point in the event.
Just going to have a quick look at the start back again. You
I think
mentioned Will Dodge, so let's have a look at it from on board with Will.
Well, Dodd started 5th. I think he maintained his position off the start.
It's very odd. Apparently the replay system doesn't want to work today. Do love this.
The contact was actually Cedric Finsack.
With Jones, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. They started next to each other on the grid. So, does make a lot of sense there.
5 seconds gone wide through Degner 1 and 2. Just lost a single position to Nick though.
Yeah, Nick's gone through up into up in P7.
Yeah, he started at 11, so he's on the move, is Nick?
Yeah, he's my pick to finish on the podium today, actually. I think he's going to be able to get up there. Good run so far, Alex, from Richard Stamenkovic, one of our veterans here.
Yeah, we've seen Richard from season 1. Nice to see him up in P4. Let's hope that he can get onto the back of Chris Jones and battle for that final podium spot. I think Nick's going to have his job cut out to catch Chris and Stone, but we've got a long way to go, and it's not always about out-and-out speed. It can be a lot about tyre preservation and everything.
Yep, the gap between those two across the line this time was 1.1 seconds, so Stamenkovic still keeping in touch. Remember, obviously, Richard, race winner in season 1, and I believe possibly season 2 he might have won a race as well. But
yeah, I'm sure he did one of the earlier on races, didn't he?
Yeah, it's been hard for him though, hasn't it, with the increased competition in this league, it's fair to say.
Yeah, I think so. I also don't think he's quite getting as much time as he used to sort of practice and whatnot, and we know that can make a huge difference. When we speak to Tommy and he has limited practice, and then he has a week where he can stick a fair few hours in, it just doesn't have to make a difference to him overall race pace. Or Roma getting a little bit of a twitch on there.
And that's
Brett Spicer in front of him.
Spicer to have a go, but doesn't take the position. We always have the discussion. I always ask you, from a driver's point of view, how hard is this car to drive? And you always say it's the hardest. So Stamenkovic, if he's lacking a bit of practice time, it's not easy to get back the pace you had, you know, if you were dialed into it, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly that. Sorry, Dean. Go on, mate. You go.
I was going to say, it's not the easiest car to drive. I did a full season last season in this car, and trying to jump back into it now is we've got Spicer looking on the inside.
And then this is where Alcala needs to be forceful in defence here. He's too often allows the opponent to get the advantage.
Yeah,
And I think
very good race around here, so
yeah,
see what it's like, but it's very difficult to drive actually. So
it's not easy as Alcala goes wide at Spoon, but the good thing about going wide at Spoon the first part is it does actually help you for the second part slightly. It opens that up, so you're not really that vulnerable going down to 130R. Should maintain the position here.
Yeah, Brett doesn't look like he's got much of a slipstream there, so it doesn't look like there's an awful lot of difference between him and straight line speed.
No, that's the example there. If you get just too far across that curve there, as Alcala passes the Casio chicane altogether, and that wasn't the best thing ever for him, but he's managed to get away with it with just a slowdown penalty. He's probably kept his advantage over Spicer there, so all's fair there.
yeah, it also depends on what kind of diff settings are running.
Yeah, I mean, can you explain what the differential does for those who don't know?
It's basically a fixed gearbox with a different differential setting, so you're in a longer gear or a shorter gear depending on what setting you've got it on.
So what
that I was given about 5 weeks before practice.
is that changeable then during the race? Is it in this car?
During the race, no, it's fixed once you're out on track, and you can't change it once you pit as well.
So is it kind of a way of tweaking the gear ratios? Is that right, to get more traction possibly, or less traction? For instance,
the gears really, or shortens them, however you prefer it. I mean, if it's a shorter gearbox, you're obviously going to be spinning the tyres up quicker, but you're going to be slow down the straights.
right, so it's just a different way of adjusting the gear ratios to changing them all, is that right?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Get that, you see? Learn something new every day, boys.
But yeah, I think the setup that I had was running 3.5, which is topping out down the start-finish, so...
Meanwhile, at the front, thanks for that explanation, Dean, anyway, for noobs like me. Meanwhile, Alex at the front, looks like Chern is trying to peg the gap back, and he actually gained a second on Trevor Johnson that last lap. This time by, he lost the second back, so... It looks like there's mistakes aplenty here, and that's just the nature of the Suzuka circuit, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think the alternate layout as well is catching them out just a fraction. Just not quite used to it 100% yet.
I think
by the time we reach the halfway point of this race, we'll see those sort of 1 second lap time differences change quite a bit, and the guys will be sort of within the consistent 2 or 3 tenths per lap.
You can't ever underestimate, Alex, just how much habit plays into a racing driver's mind. You know, you come around the 130R, you think you know where the chicane is, and suddenly it's 100 metres further along. And to be honest, if I was in the middle of an hour and 30-minute race, I might forget that as well, in the heat of battle, for instance. So, it's going to take some concentration. This is not an easy track. You know, there's 19 turns on this track, and we're not far from a full Grand Prix distance in this event, so we're going to be doing about 42 laps possibly here, so big challenge for these drivers today. And physically it can't be easy as well, especially in Australia, where it'll be the autumn, it'll be humid probably, it'll be muggy. It's not going to be the easiest race for these guys.
Yeah, Trevor's looking good out there at the moment. He's hitting the apex time after time. Looks like his car is quite comfortable underneath him. Always Tobias is always fast towards the end of the stint though, so we'll have to keep an eye on whether or not he starts to close the gap back up.
Looks like as well, when we're on the subject of that chicane, there is a slight turn to the right in the braking area as this chicane's been moved forward, isn't there? And it looks like it's not the easiest one to get it stopped for.
Now we know how Senna and Prost must have felt going into it.
Yep, that's it. We are going to disqualify anyone if they use the runoff area, by the way.
Unless they turn around and go back into traffic.
Yeah, looking back on that, that is ridiculous, isn't it? That wouldn't happen today. You would not get that sort of crazy decision today. But we digress on that one, I think. We haven't seen any banzai overtaking into that chicane yet. I'm sure we will before the day's out. As well, with it being such a long lap here, 2 minutes and 12 seconds roughly, we're not going to see as much in the way of lap traffic, at least in the first, well, probably 3/4 of the race here. So that can only help the guys actually, can't it? Especially the guys further back. They can actually get involved in their own races and not have to worry about the leaders coming through all the time.
Well, you say that, but you've got Trevor Johnson, who's just coming through the hairpin, and the next car ahead of him is Craig Jones coming down the back straight to 130R, so...
That's true.
Into the pits, but still...
But, you know, still on the lead lap, even though he's been off and into the pits as well, so... I think it's going to be a slightly better race for the midfielders though. I don't think they're going to have to worry about the blue flags so much. As Johnson's increased his lead to 3.4 seconds now, so a steady pace here. I don't know his churn, he might be just driving the car a little bit too hard. His lap times, they're not really as consistent as what he normally does. In fact, they are, apart from one lap that he was a second quicker. So I wonder if this is his normal pace and if the fast lap he put together was the anomaly there, but you can see him struggling to get it turned into the chicane. Looks very difficult. And see Chris Stone there behind.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've driven this car on a tight track before, thinking Brands Hatch, is that right, Woody?
Yeah, that's right, and you know, it's one of the difficulties about Brands Hatch is that there aren't really many straights. It's all, you're always accelerating and turning, I think, apart from one straight really. So I mean, I found that very difficult to get the power down consistently, especially on the main straight. That was absolutely torturous. So I know what these guys are going through. Braking for the hairpin, I can imagine, is very difficult, and for that final chicane, especially with the extra kink in play. So I mean, Alex knows. Alex is, I would say, probably out of the three of us, the one that
just
enjoys.
Want to stop you just quickly. There's a little bit of action just gone on there. I think that is Cedric. He's gone off in turn one and has come out, rejoined the track right in between the two Kimi Rural Fencing sponsored cars.
Luke Emerton is there, yep.
Got a bit of damage on that front left as well, so I'm not sure what's happened there. Unfortunately, like I say, the replay system's not working today, so I can't go back and show it for whatever reason.
So Finsack under a bit of pressure. KRF sandwich here. But you would think now he was running slightly in front of these guys, you'd think he might actually be able to get back past Emerton, but it's going to be difficult. I mean, it's not the easiest track to pass on, is it?
Yeah, just looking back at that actually, he locked
And now look. Oh, sorry, Dave. Peter's got a very good run out of the hairpin. And thought about having a look into the chicane there. That's the, for those who are wondering, that is the motorcycle layout. So this is what they use for the Moto GP when it used to be here. It's now at Motegi.
He's really struggling with that car actually.
Yeah, I wonder if the damage is coming into play. Alex, what sort of damage has he got there?
doesn't look too bad. I mean, there's definitely some front splitter damage and definitely something on the front left, but it only looks like scuff in there, so I can't see it's going to be affecting that much. But you just don't know, do you? You get a tiny little bit of suspension damage, and you know,
throws it
up the inside.
Up the inside. There goes Senna and Prost.
Oh, side by side, well defended.
Same way. Bit of contact there, but that's all good. As Finsack pits from 8th place.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't let him just have it if he was going to box in there. I'm surprised, but hey.
Unless he took another knock on the side of the car and thought he was pitting pit in.
Just want to bring.
Chris Stone's had a mistake there, I think. Just have a look.
He's gone down to 4th. Stamenkovic is through. Last lap was 10 seconds slower than
that was it.
been expecting, so definitely had something.
So he comes out of the hairpin, and then he's braking for the motorcycle chicane, and he just loses the back end, tries to drift it round, and for some reason he spins the other way around. Tries to get back on the track, but nearly takes out Stamenkovic, but Stamenkovic manages to get through into pits. Stone really struggling with the car there, so.
Well, I just jumped onto Mark Noble's car. I just want to give a bit of a shout out to what's going on today. Some of the drivers will know, but the spectators won't. The 18th of April was the anniversary of Mark's wife's passing, unfortunately. Kimmy, bless her. She used to help special needs children, all sorts of other things. So amazing person. She's one of the team sponsors as well for the Apex Racing UK team, so we're proud to have her name on the Formula 1 car as well. But anyway, Mark sporting a different paint scheme today, so celebrating that. As well, he's giving away some prizes to the winner today and the most improved back marker. So, you know, massive shout out to Mark and to, the respect that needs to be given. And amazing woman. And it's a shame it happened so early. And I'm sure everybody's thoughts are with Mark and her at the moment.
Yeah, I think we all echo that. And it's been a very difficult time for Mark and his family. Of course, he lost his brother as well. Last year, I remember we had a very emotional race at Brands Hatch. Oh, it's Noble! Oh, dear me! He tried to pit, I think, there. And
he's having a pit now, for sure.
In he goes. Oh dear. But I just want to say, Mark's a great bloke, and I'm sure it'd have been lovely to have known his wife as well, but she lives on with Kimmy's Rural Fencing, of course. Like I say, we're very proud to have them on board as well. You see a special livery as well for Mark Noble this week. Paint tribute. And I think I said at Brands Hatch, we're all a big family here at ARL-TV. Mark's definitely a big part of that, and he's one of the people who helps to organise this league and make it as good and exciting as it is. So
I think we've had
a lot of respect
Tobias Cherney pit as well. He's come out behind this battle behind Peters.
Yeah, this is going to be key actually for him. How quickly can he get through the traffic? Because if he doesn't, he's just going to be losing so much time here.
I mean, you can see we're sort of up looking at this down, and he's got a lot more traction coming out. Oh, just as I said that,
have the traction there.
as he kicks that back end out. That's not what he wanted at all. I think he was perhaps a little frustrated that he come out behind these two. Crew chief not doing his job right. Thought he found a gap and got it all wrong.
Yeah, Dean, you drove this car like you said last season. It's so easy to do that, isn't it?
Yes, you especially when you come out stuck behind two guys that that aren't racing you. You just want to get past them straight away, and you just try. It's your back end's just going to come out normal.
Oh, as one of the KRF cars goes wide at 130R, following his teammate through there, covers the inside line. Cherney's much later on the brakes though, boys. You can see just how much quicker he is, but you know, the KRF cars both pitting together.
Actually,
So-
that worked out quite nicely for Tobias in the end. He didn't lose a great deal, but still, I think Trevor's going to break away. Let's keep
Did
an eye on this
indeed.
battle actually and see
See
which
who
one
comes
of
up
the teams.
Yeah, the advantage here is that it's not one garage per team, so all these drivers can come in and pit at the same time. We're seeing that here with the coastal kitchenware cars.
Yeah, they're taking. It's a long old stop for them, so they must be absolutely brimming it. Tobias only 10.2 second stop, so Luke 16.9. Peters 19.5. I mean, that's quite a lot longer as well. So
Do we think that's fuel to the end then?
You've got no chance of fueling to the
Or
end
do we
from
think
here.
No.
no?
it would need to be over the halfway. Well, no, you're just not going to make it. Period. There's another
this-
stop.
Yeah, you've got
So this is
70%
as far-
fuel. So.
Are they pitted then? Is this as far as they can go on the tank then, roughly?
Probably, yeah, and tyres are probably just
Okay.
starting to feel the worst of it as well.
I think when we were at the Phillip Island, which was the other endurance race, the guys who could make it to half-hour
it?
mark, they were the ones that looked like they could do it with 2 stops, but everybody else was doing 3 stops.
So we think that might, well, it's possible. I mean, I would say for fuel consumption, Phillip Island and Suzuka would be quite similar tracks actually. They're similar layouts, so I wonder. But again, it might, if it's going to be touch and go, we might see splash and dashes later on.
Well, Trevor Johnson's just come into the pits, and you've got Chris Stone and Stamenkovic staying out.
Well, Stone was one of the drivers that was going to 2-stop it at Phillip Island, and I actually thought at one point he was going to win it, and he got caught up with the incident with the back marker, was it?
Yes, yes.
He definitely looked really good there, so if he can conserve the fuel just the same as he did at Philly, then he'll be alright.
Oh, Tobias has jumped him. Tobias has jumped Trevor Johnson
Wow.
in the pits.
Yeah,
How
well,
on earth has
Trevor
he
had an
managed that?
18.3 second pit stop there, so that's some 8 seconds.
You wonder whether he slightly missed his marks then.
Well, I
With
don't
that
think.
kind of
No,
stop.
looking at everybody else's stops, they're all around about that sort of time. So I think Trevor's just filled the car up. Where I think Tobias might have done a bit of a short stint here.
Do you
Perhaps
think
he
might be
knows
going for a
something.
3-stop strategy then?
I'm guessing he is definitely on a 3-stopper, and he's going to try and get the car a little bit lighter. And
Unless the half-hour mark, like you said, can get you to the end, and he's just going for a slightly shorter middle stint to try to get track position. Because it is difficult to overtake here, and I think if these two are nose to tail at the end, you would want to be the car in front. I'm pretty sure of it. It's not like some other tracks that we've been to, where it's, you know, a lot. You're almost better off being behind your opponent until the end.
yeah, Stamenkovic coming under a fair bit of pressure now from Stone. So Stone definitely has the pace. I mean, he'd built up about 3 or 4 second lead over Stamenkovic before he made his mistake into Casio Triangle. So
Yep.
And
And look at this. Cherney getting pressured now by Johnson. Johnson has the slipstream, so up to 130R. I think Cherney's going to have to defend the line here.
yeah, and just as we sort of come away from it, we noticed that Stamenkovic was coming into the pits as well. I'm not sure. I think Stone might have been following him.
Yeah, he did.
What can Johnson do up into the chicane then?
Oh, Tobias!
Cherney's wide, but he's managed to recover it. Johnson gets on the gas a bit earlier, but he was a little bit obstructed by Cherney's car.
He's going to make a move. This is where it's going to happen, I think.
Shades of Kimi Räikkönen and Giancarlo Fisichella down here. Oh,
I'd say Tobias' car looks fast in a straight line on its own.
but it doesn't look that stable. It's got a lot of lock on there through turn 2. Suffering with understeer, it looks like. In the medium speed stuff, and he's hitting him through the S's. Needs to be careful of that, Johnson, actually. Doesn't want to knock him off.
Just making sure he knows he's there, I think.
Oh, as
It's
Journey goes
inside.
wide. This is the Dunlop curve, leading all the way down to Degner. Side by side into Degner 1. This is tight. Good line from Journey there.
Yeah. And Trevor knew better to try and force it round the outside of Degner 1, because
You're not
all that does is lead you into the gravel trap and then into the wall of Degner 2.
Yep. The last thing you want to do, he looks quicker than his opponent here. The last thing you want to do is be out of the race due to a mistake like that.
He's got that fresh rubber as well, you know, that first couple of laps. Tyres feel fantastic on this thing. And they start to fall off quite quickly.
Sorry?
He's struggling with that car, is Tobias.
He looks under
He is,
pressure, he
he
just
might be
looks
vulnerable.
ragged.
It's a Spoon, Johnson up the inside. He can hang it around the outside in Spoon.
He will have to
But
run
again,
down here,
Journey,
though, to-
he's going to use that straight line speed. If he can get the power down, he's struggling. Squirming it out of Spoon curve.
So unusual to see Tobias drive the car like this as well. He's normally so collected, calm.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he enjoys the pressure.
He put his own pressure on Johnson now. Oh, he was quick through there. He was quick through that chicane there, Journey. But again, you're turning and accelerating at the same time here onto the
Trevor had
straight.
a little bit of a twitch as well.
Be interesting to see whether he can stay with him. Johnson was so much quicker though through the first sector. I think it might be a done deal, at least for this stint, but we'll see. Like you said, Tobias comes on strong usually at the end of his stints, but has he taxed his tyres too much?
Yeah, there's definitely different strategies playing out here as well, so see how that goes.
Like you said, it's very important to keep the tyres as fresh as possible for as long as possible. In this car, as Nick Rainbird goes very wide at 130R, having just passed Cedric Finsack, bumbling over the chicane a bit there.
Yeah, there's plenty of battles actually on track.
15 cars still on the lead lap, Dean. So, but again, it's allowing the guys at the back to fight their battles and not be overcome by the leaders. Craig Jones in the Ford EcoBoost car. Oh, I think he was going to turn into the original chicane, and he missed it. Eventually realised he was going for the second one. He's pitting now. Eventful race for Jones, no less. Mark Noble goes through.
Yeah, you can see Johnson clearly pulling away now as well.
Noble actually started 10th. That's one of his best qualifying results of the season. 13th now.
So
Must admit, I think
Nick, we're on the gravel between Degner 1 and 2. Nick is pushing.
Yeah, he definitely is. It's one thing that you can always say about him. He always tries very hard.
I think Nick is another
look at
driver
this
that
now.
struggles with
Look at the
time.
battle for the lead, boys. Nose to tail almost. So it looks like Johnson made a mistake and Cherney's going to have a run down into the first corner here.
Comes to the inside. There's only one real
He's
breaking
not
point
pulling
there.
out of that. Oh, he doesn't want to come up into him.
Trevor spotted it, give him plenty of room. But
So
again,
it's Cherney now on
Tobias,
the offensive.
he's really struggling getting the power down into Tobias.
Yeah, he is, and like you said, there aren't really any settings you can change from within the car to make that better. I wonder if he might go for like a tyre pressure adjustment or something in the next stop.
But you can change your arbs in these cars, which does lower the rear, I think, from what I remember. So it'll soften it up, so you should get more traction.
That's what he needs. It looks like it's handling okay, but it's just the the traction is the issue, as you said. As we see this battle, Rainbird, Finsack, Emerton, Peters, they're within 4 seconds of each other as Finsack goes off in the first corner, but he keeps it on, gets it back on, just ahead of Luke Emerton and Jamie Peters, who are glued together. Alex, it's been a good inter-team battle, that.
Yeah,
Two
they're
of the newer drivers in our league.
fighting for the pride there, aren't they, of the team? No Tom
That's
Jones, obviously, this week. He's getting himself all ready for university and that, so I don't think we'll see him for the rest of the season now.
Well, Will Dodd is in 5th. He's the leading Coastal Kitchenware car.
Actually, Will had a good race a couple races back. I think I think he was top 5 as well.
Sorry, Alex, Peters going through the gravel at Degner. Just didn't help him. It didn't look like it slowed him down too much, though.
No, he's still there.
I think sometimes when you go off there, actually, you go carrying such high speed that it can actually slow you down quite nicely for Degner too. And you can actually get back on the track. So, as Cherney and Johnson were separated by 1/10 of a second in the last time around, and this time it's not much more than that. It's just 5/10. So now it's Cherney putting the pressure on. It looked like when Johnson got past Dean that he'd just run away into the distance, but it hasn't happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened with Trevor.
Is that Chris Brooks there as well, struggling? I think he might be. Oh, blown his engine.
Engine failure for Brooks.
The question is, has he got any damage previous to this?
Oh,
is he going to get it back into the pits?
Oh,
he was actually coming out the Moto.
He was just coming down the so-called straight down to Spoon Curve, and he just lost the car on the bumps and slammed into the wall, and that'll probably, he'll go back and get a fast tow. Probably will stay on the lead lap, actually. That is not the best thing to do to that Ford Falcon.
He's quite lucky actually to keep it running.
Yeah, there's plenty of times where that will just float into a hole. In the pits he goes, down to the speed limit of 37 miles an hour.
This does change his strategy slightly though, if he has got that fast tail.
Yeah, he
40 minutes into this, so...
Might not be able to get to the end, well, probably won't be able to get to the end. But it should only mean one stop after this for him. So Brooks will see how long that takes in the pits. Shouldn't be too long actually, it just needs to wait for the fuel to go in. How long does it take to refuel these cars? 10 seconds or so?
Well, he would have had a... Just having a quick look now, see when the stop happened.
Yeah, he'd probably have a partial tank, so...
Yeah, it shouldn't take too long just to get it filled back up, I think.
So he rejoins in...
12 seconds, so...
Yeah, 14th place, so still on the lead lap, Brooks, as the leaders have just lapsed Jones. So still 14 cars in the lead lap, Brooks being the final one. And Johnson's just increased the lead now to 1.3 seconds, so looks like he's settled in a little bit there. I wonder if Cherney had a mistake. I think he must have done actually. 2:13.0. Smacks of a little mistake there by Tobias. I wonder actually, fellas, if Tobias's tyres are cooked because of all that effort he put in on the first couple of laps, as his lap times in this stint have been a good second and a half slower than they were in the first stint.
Yeah, I wonder actually if he's... Because he was dropping off the back of Johnson, whether or not he radioed into his crew chief and got him to adjust the pressures a little bit, hoping to find a little bit more balance in that, and it's just gone the wrong way, so...
I don't know if you can see, boys, but he's just sliding the back end now into every single corner. He's doing his best Tony Reposard impression. And he's losing bucket loads of time now. And this might ruin his chances of a podium even if he keeps going like this.
He's still got quite a gap over the likes of Stamenkovic and Stone.
Yeah, they're just coming through the hairpin now.
But it's just it just doesn't look as drivable. Well, in fact, it's not looked drivable for him all the way through the race, if I'm perfectly honest. But this is the most ragged I've ever seen Tobias in a race.
I think
And it's very unusual.
And get into a rhythm. Not push too hard. He knows he's got the pace.
I wonder if his tyres though won't let you do that. If he's hurt his tyres too much. But again, he's just he's struggling so much to get the power down. As you said, Dave. It just looks it's very tricky out there for him. We'll see what his lap time is coming over this time. And it's 2:13.1. Johnson a 2:12.1. So I think maybe if he slows down a little bit, he might be able to get the temperature down in the tyres, but it's very hard to get them back, isn't it, Alex, once they've started to go?
Yeah, exactly that. Just need to drive it. I mean, he's going to have to ease off just a fraction, I think, there, because I think it's just the temps are just too high at the moment in the back there, and it's just burning them up even more.
I mean, that's not going to be over an entire stint here at Suzuka. That is not going to do him any favours whatsoever. It's just going. I mean, that's only going to get worse. Unfortunately, that won't come back to him.
Shame. Brooke looked like he's having a lot of connectivity issues as well. Just a matter of time, I think, before he disconnects.
Yeah, P12 for Brooke. Started 15th. Not a bad effort.
Cedric Finsack has had a pit stop as well.
Yes.
And dropped himself down to 13th place, 28.2 seconds in the stop that one.
I wonder if that was repairs.
I have to say, the longest pit stop as well, Nick Rainbow, 31.8. I can only assume that was some sort of pit lane penalty there.
Yeah, I think he did say he had a stop and go.
Well,
Speeding in the pits.
Yeah, Cedric Finsack's last lap was 3 minutes 5 seconds. And just for an example, Tobias Cherney's outlap was 2:39.1, so a lot of time lost there. Dean, do you just want to take us through the order, mate, at this point, as we're half distance?
Well, I was actually just sitting on the lap with Tobias to see what his gearbox was doing, and he's short shifting quite a bit. But yes, the order, we've got Trevor Johnson coming over to start lap 20, Tobias in second, Richard in third, Christo in fourth, Will Dodd fifth. He's showing good paces, actually, Will. And Nick Rainbird, who started in 13th. 11th, he's now up into 6th. We've got Luke in 7th, Jimmy Peters in 8th, Romer Alcala 9th, Brett Spicer 10th, Mark Noble 11th, Shane Brooks 12th, sorry, Cedric Finsack, who just come out the pits, in 13th, and Chris Brooks on the lead lap in 14th, and then you have Craig Jones and Nigel Bushell.
Thanks for that, Dean. And we just saw, I don't know if we did see while Dean was reading out the order there, that Chris Stone missed the chicane, or well, went over the second part of the chicane by complete accident there. So his pursuit of Semenkovic not going according to plan, as he gets very sideways up the hill at the Dunlop curve, and he's really struggling now, as you can see the car just twitching around underneath him.
Yeah, let's just jump over to him for a second, as we were just watching the battle between Peters and Emerton, but I feel that might rage on for the rest of the race.
Has there actually been any overtaking in that battle so far?
No, but I have to say they are pretty close to each other at this point, 0.3 of a second separating them, so just as they're going through the S's at the minute. I think they're being good little teammates, and they're showing each other a lot of respect and not trying anything daft, so which is why we're not seeing the kind of moves.
I think sooner or later though, Peters is going to know where Luke is weak and where he's strong, and see where he can, you know, get an overtaking move in, and I predict we'll see him going for it, unless he's thinking about trying to jump him in the pits. as Nick Rainbird speeding in the pit lane. It's of course a long stop.
Yeah, Peter's only come into this season, I think it was 2 weeks ago. So, he's definitely showing some pace.
Is he any relation to Corentin Peters?
I don't think so. I think he's one of the Aussie guys, actually.
Okay.
In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think Mark Noble actually invited him to the team.
Well, I actually think KRF invites nearly all its drivers. Is that right, Alex? He nearly lost it there, Peters.
Yeah, I think they do, to be fair.
I think they tend to evaluate drivers on several aspects, and they've got a good solid team there, haven't they? They've got drivers that won't let them down, I think.
I think the thing with KRF is that for them it's about that was close. It's about having fun and mutual respect towards one another, as you know, Pierce sacrificed himself there. Decided to jump in the pits. But
Really sacrificed Emerton as well.
But yeah, for them it's all about having fun and enjoying what they're doing, rather than, you know, trying to compete at the very, very sharp end. That, you know, they're all helping themselves improve, for sure, because they're a lot closer than what they were a couple of seasons ago. But
yeah,
I mean, you just tell. I mean, Tom Jones, Phillip Island, he was extremely fast, so.
Yeah, and you can tell as well by their qualifying performances. I mean, Emerton 6th, Dodd 5th, Emerton 6th, Noble 10th, Peters, you know, newer to the series, didn't get a good qualifying in today, but someone like Mark Noble getting a top 10 in qualifying, you can definitely see that team moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, he's still in 10th now, so let's hope that carries on for him for the whole race, and we see him pick up a top 10. So that'd be great.
Yeah, especially considering the circumstances. I think it'd be terrific, and he's obviously focusing really hard on trying to make that happen. As on to lap 22 goes Trevor Johnson, and he celebrates lap 22 with a pit stop. Alex.
Yeah, just Peters there was 29.1 seconds in the pits, so I'm thinking drivers are having to take a lot more fuel this time round.
Do you think they underestimated the amount needed?
Although Johnson's just having a little splash this
Johnson's
time.
out, Cherney's coming down the pitch straight.
Well, he had a long stop, didn't he? The last time, Johnson. Not so long this time. Cherney was also a 14.3 second stop, so I would think that Johnson is in a much stronger place at the minute. I can see him having a lot more fuel on board. He's just topped it back up again. Perhaps not all the way to... they've probably not brimmed it, but he's probably carrying a bit more fuel than what Tobias is. So come the very last stop of the race, next time, he's going to be just having a bit of a splash compared to Tobias, who's going to have to brim it to make it.
Do you have the total pit time there, time lost? So I'm guessing it's about 40 seconds, is it? 35, 40 seconds.
I only have the time that they're stationary.
Thinking though, if Trevor could save some fuel in this stint, he might be able to make it. I mean,
I don't think so. Not with the amount of fuel he took on board. I just don't think there's enough. I think he's expecting to have probably a bit of a splash.
I suppose it's better to be safe than run out of fuel, I suppose. But
I think if we'd have seen him go to the half an hour mark again, so another 10 minutes, then I think he probably could have made it. And he seemed like the likely candidate to do that. I mean, the other people to keep an eye on who really could make it are Stone and Stamenkovic, because they're still out there. I mean, Stamenkovic not really had much airtime at all today, packaging a more car.
do we think that the most you could really get out of a stint is about 35 minutes?
I think we saw Lucky do 35 minutes at Philippine now. I know it's a different track, but when we're talking about time, I mean, they're still racing it hard and driving it hard, so yes, some tracks are more efficient
Sorry,
than
Alex.
others. But
Spicer's just lost it.
Spicer then? Off
He actually got the
into
jump on Roma.
That's in the S's. So
Yeah, he actually just come out of the pits, got the jump on Roma, and then lost it. So
Callum.
Tyres catching him out.
Now this could be tricky potentially for the leader then. I was going to say.
Yeah, he's through. Stominkovic got through straight away. Actually, he's just rejoining the track as he.
I was going to say that it might be tricky because he's got Alcala and Jones in front, a bit further up the road. So those two are going to look like they're going to be battling soon. Eco boost on there.
Just for those drivers that are watching the F1 qualifying at the same time, I just see Grosjean was practicing his turn 1 there, ready for the start of the race.
Oh dear.
Those that are watching it will appreciate it, I'm sure.
look at these 4 guys here. Behind Cedric, I think. Yeah, Cedric Finsack. Shane Brooks.
Finsack's just got ahead of Brook, I think. He was behind him on the previous time round, so Finsack's making a move to try and get away from these guys as he goes almost losing it completely in 130R.
We've got Chris Brooks.
Pitted quite early, didn't he? So
Finsack's gone wide at the
that'll just slow down.
might well be.
Got blinking.
Got away with it. But he might be in serious trouble now going down to turn 1. Brooks off to the left as we see it.
Yeah, you got Chris Brooks, not sure what to do there.
So Brooks takes Brook for 9th place.
I think it's
Then
Brooks, actually. Chris Brooks, Shane Brooks. Or Brook.
And then you've got Peters, who has misplaced his teammate, Emerton. Come back, where have you gone?
Yeah, Emerton's still out there. He hasn't pitted yet, so that's why he's in front of these. That's not really what. It's not what Peters wanted. He wanted to try and get a jump on his teammate with an early stop, and he's come out in the worst possible place. And he's sideways.
Oh, he saved it, brilliant.
How did he save that?
I have no idea.
2-foot magic save?
That was terrific.
Come on, give me a replay. Let's have a replay that's working. I think we're still having issues with it. I'm not 100% sure.
I think he looks.
Oh no, we've got it. We've got the replay. Let's have a look at this.
Shane Brook out of sequence here, then, boys. Looks like these guys have come out with new tyres by the pace difference.
Oh, it's an epic save, if I do say so.
Amazing.
Brilliant effort. It's not the easiest place to. When you lose a car there, and you're usually in the wall, aren't you, Alex? We've done that before.
Far too easy to.
As we see now, actually, interestingly enough, Cherney has got by Stone, and he's off after Johnson again. So Stomenkovic leads, but he's only made 1 pit stop so far. Stomenkovic looks like he's going for an even 2-stopper here, doesn't he? And actually, he's got a chance still here.
I'm not sure what's happened to Stone because, according to the data, he still hasn't pitted.
At all?
Well, he's only had the 1 stop, so.
Yeah,
again,
Stomenkovic will have only had 1 stop though, hasn't he, as well?
Cedric's from the final chicane again.
These guys will have,
in 11th.
these guys will have pitted at half an hour, won't they, Alex? So they'll be pitting soon. You would think Stone and Stomenkovic
Yeah, true. Yeah, I guess that's why it's making sense that those guys have caught him up and got past him. Fresh tyres,
He
stuff like
spun
that.
as well, didn't he? I think he went off some at the chicane as well. So
I mean, the difference in lap time is crazy. I mean, you're talking 4 seconds a lap difference between them as well. So Stomenkovic,
but between Stomenkovic and Stone,
yeah, Stone picked the pace up a little bit that time round. Just 2 seconds he lost
to Johnson.
to Johnson. Yep.
Johnson 2:11.2 that time. Stomenkovic 2:13.7. But again, it's such a long pit stop here, Alex. That we'd think that about 15. I think this still could be very close here.
Yeah, well, you got to remember they've got to have an additional pit stop as well, so that one less stop might make all the difference.
Both men have to stop, don't they? So
Still
essentially
this
now
battle goes on.
Stamenkovic and Johnson are essentially racing each other now for the win, with Cherney just behind, and Stone's still aiming to shout if anything goes wrong up front. As like you said, Dean, sorry about that, mate. Chris Brooks, Jamie Peters, Cedric Finsack, and you've probably got the quickest car at the back of this pack here. Finsack's been, he's had decent pace today, but he's been inconsistent.
I don't know, Peters, I would say he's probably been the quickest out of all of them. And we know how good Chris Brooks is as well.
Well, that's it. Chris Brooks has got top 5 finishes in this league before.
Don't forget he has blown an engine and not a faster car.
Must admit, that's a pretty good performance to be in 8th place. After that, as Finsack again can't seem to get a handle on 130R at all, as they've all broken away from Shane Brook now. Oh, wide goes Chris Brooks, and that's going to leave. Oh, it's Peters trying to get the advantage, and he went sideways. That's allowed Finsack to come through. The Frenchman might take 2 positions here in one corner and a bit. Down the main straight he goes. Is Brooks going to defend the line? He doesn't elect to. Who's going to be later on the brakes? It's Brooks, but can he get it stopped?
Very wide.
No, he cannot get it stopped for turn 1. But he's going to come
look
back
at
on
Peters.
with a decent run out of 2. Peters looking up the inside. It's one line through the S's essentially.
It's good driving from Cedric there. He put the pressure on him, showed his nose, but made sure that he still hit his points, and Chris just trying to break a little bit late. Peters there,
Yeah, he
very
did.
close.
Yeah, Alex, he didn't commit too hard to outbraking his rival, did he? He let Brooks make the mistake, and that's mature, sensible driving by Finsack. As Peters has been impressive today. He's looking, but again, you're not going to get through in the Degner curves. Goes a bit wide onto the grass. Can he get it stopped for 2? Yes, he can. Something tells me we haven't seen the last of this battle throughout. Just a quick shout out to Will Dodd as well, P5. Comfortable P5 actually, he's about 40 seconds ahead of Rainbow.
Don't forget we've got Will Dodd in the pits as well. He could possibly
there's
join onto the back
contact
of
there.
this.
Contact at the Moto between Finsack and Peters. They look like Peters went in there looking for the position, sort of a half move really. Oh, I think he almost lost it under braking, or just didn't judge the distance or something. Alex, have you got a replay of that?
Yeah, we've got the replay working again now, so I'm just having a quick look at that.
It
Do
wasn't.
you know what? It's the tiniest of touches. I wonder if there's not a bit of net code or something going on there.
But he was a bit clumsy, wasn't it? I think it was.
Let's watch it back
The
from
gap-
on board and have a quick look.
The gap wasn't really there, I don't think, to be had. As you see now, Alcala and Jones side by side into 130R, and now they're in front of Peters, who of course has just been involved in a crash.
Yeah, he was
Alcala
close,
again.
and he did sort of stick his nose in, and
Alcala again misses the Casio triangle, but he's going to get away with it. And you know, you've got to be careful how many times you do that. That's at least 2 now for Alcala. And they're going to come out with lapped traffic. They're going to be nearly 3 wide into turn 1. Peters up the inside. Oh, that was almost Senna and Prost part 2 into turn 1. Round the outside is Alcala. Jones trying up the inside. It's one line through here, boys. Don't push it. Oh, Alcala's too gentlemanly there.
should
Well,
have
he's
the
got
inside for this corner.
For the next corner.
Oh, slight
Wide goes
contact.
Jones.
Yeah.
Peters is looking. He's looking for the inside now as we go climb the hill again. Tricky corner that, isn't it, boys? Just tighter than you think. Up the hill into Degner. I'm pleased with Roma there for sticking it out, because I thought he was going to do his usual gentlemanly thing and give a position away too easily.
These guys got to be careful though. Look who's coming up in the background.
Yeah, that's right, the leader. But they're behaving themselves so far. Weird coming out of that hairpin and staying to the left side, going to this Moto chicane, which is actually pretty good. It's not the worst chicane I've ever seen. But now I wonder if it would be best served for Peters, for instance, now to drop back behind the leader as quickly as he can and then follow him through.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think I would try and do. Make sure he stays in contention.
Alex?
Well, yeah, true.
Me and Dean do, though, don't we, Dean?
I have to say, if I was in this car, I probably would be in the same position, so...
Oh,
Yeah, he's done exactly that. Oh
There you
no,
go,
too
he
gentlemanly.
Oh, he almost made it work.
I would
Come
have
up the inside though.
I'd have gone... There we go.
Peters is going to have a go into the Casio, is he?
Roma again missing his braking.
There's only so many times he'll be able to do that and get away with it, I think. He's
think
done
we-
that 3 times now.
I think-
This Jones very nearly hits the pit wall. This race is coming alive here at Suzuka.
I think one of the admins need to send him a little message there, just sort of say, hit the shit, go around the chicane, Roma.
Yep. I think he... Oh, it's wide goes Jones.
Contact
Back on.
again a little bit.
And yeah, right in front of Cherney. And Peters realises that. Gets out of the way.
I think Peters was trying to stay wide to let Tobias through.
So Stamenkovic has just come in for his second stop, hasn't he? So he's come out, what, 13 seconds behind.
Chris Stone just coming into the pits now as well.
So
Those guys are definitely good to the end, so...
with good laps here, you know, Alex Stamenkovic could really put himself in charge of this race.
You've got to remember, he's going to be on fresh rubber now as well, so potentially he's going to be faster than what the leaders are as well at this point, so they're not likely to pull any gap. If anything, gap's going to come down fractionally.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, looking at Stamenkovic's lap times at the end of his stint, he was pretty consistent, and actually he doesn't look out of control like some of the others were doing with worn tyres. So I think Richard he does have a great chance here still. He's 44 seconds behind, but it takes a long time for a pit stop here. Trevor Johnson 2:12.3, although Stamenkovic's fastest lap of the race is 2:12.5, so he's going to have to get the hammer down now.
Peter's having a look up the inside of Alcala through Spur. He's going to have a great run down the back straight before 130R.
He is. If Roman can stay to the inside though, he's not really going to be able to get around 130R very easily. And what's he doing? He's gone back to the line. I don't know if that's wise. Peters has a look. And doesn't
Cedric
go
left.
for it. Now, is Alcala going to make the chicane? Yes. I think 3 times in a row would have been... well, you're almost verging on a penalty there, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm thinking in Formula
Have we
1,
just
I
lost
remember.
Peters as well?
Yeah, he's just blinked for me. Not come back.
Jones has gone in the pits. So is Alcala.
So it's
That's Tobias in there, sorry.
One thing all this squabbling has done is it's allowed Emerton to escape from this group. P7, he's not under any pressure at all now. But I'll tell you who is under, well...
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to quickly stick with Tobias, actually. I'm going to jump onto Stamenkovic, see where he is, because Tobias is having his last pit stop now.
We've done it straight to Stamenkovic. And he's going to do it, you know.
Tobias
Which
still...
is going to get past Tobias. And if he gets
He's
past
done him.
Tobias, he might get past Trevor as well.
Yeah, Tobias having to have a massive stop here as well. 29, 30 seconds. I'm wondering if there's not some sort of pit lane penalty there. 31 seconds seems huge.
It doesn't look like there was any damage, unless there was damage from the contact that he had with Johnson, but it wasn't a lot of contact.
Yeah, he was short filling every time, you see, and I think he's just had to brim it for this last stint, otherwise he was never going to make it.
So we think some of the guys then might be running longer stints than half an hour then based on that. If he's able to... I mean, but how has he managed to do that though?
Well, I'm just thinking.
Because he's got to an hour and 6, and this is his third stop.
That's his third stop, yeah.
Really short fills. Sorry, I'm just letting the losing the position in the race a little bit there, but yeah. But Stamenkovic is at the hairpin. Cherney's just coming through Degner 1, so Richard's in charge of this race, isn't he?
You have to. I mean, Trevor's had a long stop, hasn't he? He's had.
You have to think he'll be in now, though, don't you, to cover Cherney?
Keep an eye on him. See what he does.
Yeah,
right, he does. He comes straight in. Let's see how long he. Oh, coming into the pits, just about gets it stopped in time. I think.
Stamenkovic is at Spoon Curve. Oh, I think Johnson will do it if he stops any good here. He's still coming down the 37 miles an hour. It's so slow down this pit lane. It's such a long pit lane here at Suzuka Circuit. Stamenkovic is coming through 130R now. It's going to be tight, this, boys. It's going to be very tight indeed.
Yeah, through the chicane. Johnson's still filling.
He's gone.
He's gone 14.5.
It's going to be fairly close, but I think. Yeah, he's out in front of Richard, so I think Trevor's in charge of this race definitely now.
Yeah, Trevor got his long stint done earlier on, didn't he? You know, that heavy fuel, and that's what I said. He was only going to need a splash and dash towards the end.
And his long stint was much quicker actually as well, wasn't it? Than Cherney's long stint and even Stamenkovic's 2 stints so far. So, but it's been a terrific effort by Stamenkovic. He's stuck to his strategy and he's driven accordingly, and he's done very well. He's preserved the tyres throughout the stint, which you've got to do.
I still have to think Tobias must have had some sort of penalty there, because I don't think it needed 30-second pit stop, maybe a 20, like 22 or something like that. So I think he's probably lost about 10 seconds, which would have put him right on the tail of Stamenkovic, but a long, long way back from Trevor.
Yeah, because missing his pit box wouldn't include in that time, would it? That you've got there, so he wouldn't have missed his box. Oh, I'm thinking it was probably repairs, you know. But I mean, he had a bit of contact with Johnson, didn't he? I wonder if that was it. But Richard did very well to challenge until this point.
I mean, Tobias also needs to consider the whole picture. We got to the point of the championship now where he's got to keep an eye on the championship points. He doesn't need to try and thrash the car to win a race when, you know, realistically he's hoping second place will do. I mean, he's the rival. While Trevor is still a rival in the championship, the main rival, Tommy's not here today, so gets solid points, second place. You know, even a podium will still do, so it's quite a long time to go. He might still be able to have a run on Stamenkovic.
I wonder if actually that has been playing on his mind a bit today, with Tommy not being there. I wonder if he's just been trying a little bit harder, or because he's been so smooth, hasn't he, in some of his other victories this season. So. And maybe he just went the wrong way on the setup. I mean, we'll have to ask him possibly after the race, but it was... Yeah, it's just been an unusual performance by him. He's not really had the consistency we're used to. Unless he knows that Trevor is faster on this track and he's just trying too hard to try and catch him.
Also, I don't know if you've noticed, but we've got Will Dodd up into 4th.
Yeah, Stone's pitted as well, I think. Oh no, he hasn't pitted. Neither's Dodd, actually. Dodd hasn't had his stop as well, so...
I'll just have a look and see if there's been any...
Just looking back at Will Dodd's lap 25.
Stone pitted on lap 27.
Yeah, looks like Dodd coming on 25.
But Stone's had some shocking lap times at the end of his last stint. He went 2:17, 2:16, 2:17, 2:18, 2:20 before he pitted. Then he come out and did 2:12.
Yeah, tyres just falling off too much there.
It looks like maybe his driving style's to blame for that, because he's done 2:14 second lap out. So looks like he's wrecking the rubber a little bit there.
Does anyone know when Dodd last pitted? I mean, I haven't been keeping an eye on him. Is he on a 2-stop or is he on a 3-stop?
Looks like you're coming on lap 25
Dodds had 2.
and lap 12.
Yeah, so he's going to the end. You would think. Might be slightly longer stint this, but should be going to the end then. If we say that you can make it on 3 half-an-hour stints, Dodd's done what, 25 minutes and 27 minutes, I think. So
It's going to be a bit touch and go for him.
He's got a chance, but he'll know how much fuel he needs, surely. I mean, the only good thing for him is if he does need to make another stop, the worst he'll finish is 6th, effectively. So, as now we're down to only 8 drivers on the lead lap, with a lot of fighting between the midfield runners, slowed them down quite a lot in the second half of the race.
So yeah, we've just gone down to 7.
Sorry, 7, yeah.
Trevor's just got past Chris Brooks.
Luke Emerton is the 7th. Nick Rainbird 6th. Solid race from him. Maybe not challenging as hard as I thought he might do in this race, but solid drive by Nick.
I think Nick will just be happy that he's picked himself up from his qualifying and got himself inside the top 10. I mean, 6th place still, decent finish.
Yeah, and it smacks of someone who hasn't had practice on this track this week, and that's, I believe, where the poor qualifying performance came from, as he struggles to get the power down the main straight. Currently, Johnson leads by 9 seconds, Richard Stamenkovic then. And it doesn't really look like Czerny's making inroads on that 2nd place, is it?
No, looking at the lap times last time by, he was 2.3 seconds faster. So, I mean,
I think Richard had a mistake though.
At that rate, he's going to catch him. But yeah, looking at Stamenkovic, it was a couple of seconds slower than what he's been doing as well. So,
I mean, he was lap 30, did a 2:13.3, and for Czerny, his lap 30 was 2:11.7, so he's still 1.5 seconds quicker. So, yeah, still got a chance to catch him, but I don't really think he's made much time on him since he's come out of the pits in total. But I think he's well, he's going to have to push hard now, but he doesn't want to push too hard, as he said, because he needs to think of the standings. He needs to think of getting the points on the board, which is all important, as he said, with the championship leader not at this race.
he's just had some traffic to deal with as well, so he's got through a couple of cars this lap, so I don't expect he would have closed up that much this time, which might have been what was affecting Richard in the last couple of laps. So let's have a little look this time by, see what these guys do.
Romer Alcala just behind Shane Brook again, so
Yeah, it does look like Romer's just might have got a slowdown though.
so it looks like Alcala is on a 3-stop strategy and Brook is on a 2, I would believe. So you need to check that.
You can see Tobias on the main straight now in the background, looking at Stamenkovic, so we'll keep an eye on that gap.
Yes, it was 8.6 coming over the line this last time. Alcala's chasing down Shane here.
Yeah, Tobias, even with the traffic, it was nearly 2 seconds that he caught up, so I think he's definitely got enough laps to close in on him. Whether or not Stamenkovic is just saving his tyres so he can defend a little bit harder should he need to.
So it's a good strategy as well.
I don't know, I think he might just be saving them because of the 2-stop strategy.
This is surely, though, Alex, one of the most important, one of the harshest tracks on tyres that we visit here in the series.
Well, certainly the fronts take a pounding just through that first sector, really. That's the main thing. And we've got a couple of slow speed corners where the rears get a little bit of treatment as well, but it's all about the fronts, really.
Yep, I agree with that.
Oh, Stamenkovic loses it coming out of the hairpin.
Oh, now can he get? He can just get it going again before Czerny can come through, but
He's got massive damage on the front of that. I can't see that.
has he hit the wall?
Yeah, straight into it. Head flight pretty much full on.
Oh, it's
Guaranteed Tobias is going to get him now.
It's going to be difficult for him to be able to battle Czerny now. He's going to try though.
He's going to need to just hold on to 3rd place, I think, here, really. Could end up losing it to Will Dodd, depending on what the damage is like, although it doesn't seem to be affecting it too much.
It's not really worth him hitting though, is it? Because he's going to drop down possibly to 6th.
Yeah, exactly. Lapse of concentration there. I mean, we've reached an hour and 15 minutes of this race now, so the driver's starting to get a bit mentally fatigued.
This will be a test though. First time through 130i with the damaged car. How's it going to react?
He's fine.
Looks okay. Takes the inside line, which I'm reliably informed by my broadcast colleague the other week that that's the faster line.
Yeah, I'm not so sure on these V8s when you can't take it exactly flat, but certainly on the F1 car it doesn't even doesn't worry it at all. So you're better off just driving a shorter distance than the longer one.
This isn't what Stomenkovic wanted at all, because he did have a reasonable lead over Cherney and he was just going to try and manage the gap to the end with only about 7 laps to go, you would think. But now Dean, he's in a lot of bother now for trying to keep that second place.
Yeah, just been watching the front. It does look like he's got some kind of understeer, but he's managing it okay so far.
I'll be honest, mate, I think his car's been pretty understeer all the way through. It's looked like it's been nicely planted, but I mean, Alex, take us through the incident. What exactly happened to him?
We just, I'd say just entered the chicane, no real problems. Sorry, the hairpin, no real problems, and just looked like he got a whole load of right foot coming out of it, and car spun up, lost traction in the rear, and it just rotated around into the wall, and he's let him have it.
Let him through, I think. Sensible, I think. Realised he couldn't fight, and he didn't want the pressure behind him risking a crash.
Yeah, he's still got a potential third place here.
He needs to take that podium finish home, which he should get, actually, but it's not guaranteed at this point, depending on how bad the damage becomes. But he's got 20,
who's still out there
seconds
with 13 minutes to go, and looks like he is going all to the way to the end. That is Dodd, but he's starting to get closed in now by Stone.
Well, he was until on the last lap. He actually put the second out on him, so. But I was going to point out before, yeah, Stone was catching him slightly, but it looks like that's not happening anymore. So Kimi's rural fencing on a very special day for the team is well, going to be represented in the top 5, we hope, with Don. So excellent performance by him, and he started 5th. He had the pace. It's not a surprise.
Yeah,
but
he's just been keeping his consistent laps in, so
yeah.
14 since he come out.
Tightly fought midfield in the ARL-TV V8 Supercar Championship, isn't it? It's always tough to be the best of the rest, almost behind the championship contenders. And Will Dodd's done a great job of that today. Speaking of Kimi's rural fencing, Mark Noble still going in a decent 13th place.
Yeah, he's had 5 pit stops, so he must have missed some sort of off-camera accident, I think, there.
Because he was in 10th, wasn't he? Ahead of Alcala. Ooh. Gets a bit crossed up there. Through Spoon. Yeah, like I say, he was ahead of Alcala, and this is going to be a test for Roma, by the way, just looking at this battle with him and Shane Brook, is can Roma Alcala seize the initiative when needed? Can he be ruthless and take the position, Alex? What do you think?
Well, I hope so. Let's see him do it. I mean, best chances are into the chicane. We've seen him have some issues there today, so I think he'd be a bit nervous about trying to dive up there, but definitely into turn 1. We know how quick the Lenovo car is.
At least he's proved he can be let on the brakes into that chicane, Alex. So if he gets a sniff, he might have a chance. I think, but he's obviously quicker than Shane, and he has been for the past 10 laps or so. But it's to assert his authority and try to make a move here. And he's got Craig Jones just behind, so he may be forced into making a move sooner rather than later.
Just about to say, Craig Jones has come out of nowhere and got right onto the back of these two.
Jones has had a tough race, but he's battled along. He's not given up, and he might be able to get into the top 10. was a very, you know, he had contact with Finsack at the first corner.
Roma's having a look.
Oh, Roma's going for it. And he makes a move. Well played, sir. Good move.
He's gone wide though.
Good move. He might be under a bit of pressure down the straight though. I think that's acceptable in the tin tops, Alex. A little bit of contact once you've got through. It's always going to happen in a situation like that, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Good move. I think he even give him enough room so that he could come back at him on the left, actually, Roman, which is... Oh! Jesus, he just about saves it there.
Jones as well.
But yeah, I think, you know, he could have cut him off there completely, but he gave him enough room, and that's why Roman ran into the gravel on the outside there, but it didn't affect him too much. Just got a little bit of pressure, which is, I think, why he got a little bit hungry on the right foot.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard some touring car drivers say that's the reason why you have doors and panels, is to use them, and that's exactly what happened there. It was a forceful move, no doubt, but he did get up the inside, and he pretty much got the move done, didn't he, before the second part of that Casio chicane. Richard Stamenkovic is actually hanging on to Cherney. He's only a couple of seconds behind him, but I think Cherney's just dialed the pace down a little bit. He knows he's got no threat from behind from Richard, and he's 25 seconds behind
gone wide into the hairpin. Got the inside
Jones. It's the motorcycle chicane there. Jones got a good run out of there actually. Might have a go into Spoon. So maybe not close enough. I think maybe better served waiting until the Casio chicane. As wide goes, oh, in fact he won't have to wait until the chicane. As wide goes, oh, Shane, and Jones just locked a wheel, I think. Just went right up the track into it nearly.
He's lost any chance he's got of making a move into the chicane.
Yeah, and he won't have that many chances left either, mate, with just sort of about 7 minutes to go here. 8 minutes, possibly. So about 5 laps, you would think. Oh, he went a little bit wide there, Brooke, into the chicane, Dean. That's allowed. It's going to allow Jones a nice run down the straight.
Yeah, it's difficult. Oh, we've got Roma jumping into the pits, actually.
Callas pitting, that's a strange run with 7 minutes to go.
Yeah, obviously got the fuel wrong. Needs a splash and dash.
Oh, that's a shit. That's going to drop him right behind, possibly behind Noble as well. So
yeah, well, these guys are fighting for 8th now, so
yeah, good effort by them. Luke Emerton, despite battling with his teammate for most of the race and keeping his teammate behind him, is now in a very solid and quite lonely 7th place.
Yeah,
good for him on that one.
Got quite a gap back to Chris Brooks.
About 15 seconds, I would think, on that one. So Johnson's 26 seconds in front of Cherney. Cherney's 5 seconds in front of Richard Stamenkovic. Will Dog in 4th is 20 seconds behind Richard, 10 seconds ahead of Stone. So really everybody's now, I think Jones and Brooke is the only real battle left on the track at this point.
Yeah, they're still going for it.
Into the hairpin. It looks like Shane Brooks got decent traction though compared to Jones. I think Jones is quicker through the corners, but he seems to be a bit twitchier, and that's allowed his opponents to get away from him a little bit today. Not long to go yet in this Suzuka endurance race. It's been a good one today, gents. I've enjoyed it so far. Had some great overtaking on this historic track, one of the best tracks ever, I think. Very, very tricky, but if you get it right, it's very rewarding.
Jones having a little lift quite early there. Didn't want to have a look going into 130. What it's done is it's dropped him back, so he's not been able to under braking. And actually,
Brooke missed it. Brooke missed the chicane completely. Jones was all sideways into it. It's funny because Jones was the one who was getting all sideways, out of control, but Brook was the one who ended up with the slowdown penalty, so Jones up to 9th. And now you'd think he'd probably stay there as well, probably quick enough if he can keep it on. Just with a couple of minutes to go, Alex, you won here before. What's it like? What's the feeling like when you take victory here?
It's a great feeling actually. I mean, it really is a driver's track. It has everything you want to challenge, you know, the high speed corners, you know, technical sections, slow speed, everything you need. So, you know, victory here does mean something, so Trevor will be really happy with himself at the moment.
How tough is it as well around this track physically as well?
Well, I think the first sector is very, very quick and very technical as well, so keeping your concentration, I think that's the thing. It's mentally physical. It's so easy to lose massive amounts of time there by getting the wrong line. So an hour and a half race, you know, we've seen Stamenkovic make a little mistake coming out of the hairpin as well, and that was probably just a bit of mental fatigue. I think that's what really drains you. It's the concentration levels rather than anything physical.
Yeah, I think you haven't. I mean, even you haven't driven for an hour and 30 minutes around here, I don't think, have you? So that, I mean, that would take some doing. I mean, on the mental fatigue aspect, I remember at the end of my Daytona 500, I don't think I knew where I was, or what country I was in.
Is that Alcala coming out of the pits again? Has he had another stop? It's all going wrong for Alcala. Yeah, 5 stops he's had now.
Yeah, could have been a slowdown penalty.
He's now behind. He's now well behind Mark Noble, so Noble up to 12th, and Shane Brook up into the top 10. As we said before, Spicer 11th. It's been a very quiet day for Spicer. I think he did have a spin, but he's not really been involved in much. As he dances the car out the hairpin there.
Dodd still looks pretty safe from Stone. Nothing really going there.
Yeah,
he's
I'm
pulling
not sure
away
if,
from him.
Stone actually had a bit of a slide or a spin or something. He's let
Dodd's
Dodd get
pitting,
through.
Alex. So he's not safe at all.
Can't make it. It's that little splash and dash. He's obviously been trying to conserve the fuel.
We did say though, didn't we?
Yeah, we said it'd be close.
That it would be tight on the fuel. So Stone's through. P4 for him after a bit of a scrappy start to the race actually, but he's done.
Where's Rainbird? Rainbird's got a chance of getting Dodd here as well, but it's going to be the tiniest stop ever for Dodd, I would think. Literally just a few seconds.
Rainbird's
TR. Rainbird, yeah.
Dodd's car is down. No, then is that more fuel than there's needed?
God, that's a lot of fuel. Surely just the tyres need to be changed. What's Dodd doing? Get him out of there. Did he get a bit of a pit lane penalty there? 21
he's through
seconds.
now. He's going now, but he's going to be close. Rainbird's coming down at 160 miles an hour.
And we've got Brett as well. Oh, he's got him. Oh, terrible stop there from Dodd. He's gifted that position to Rainbird there.
However, Alex, I wonder if what Dodd has done has taken tyres, because he knows even if he comes out behind Rainbird, he can pass him.
Well, I'm sure he would have took the tyres there, but yeah, certainly no reason to be stopped for that long. I mean, we saw some of the guy, I think it was Tobias.
Rainbird! Oh, he nearly lost it. Sorry, Alex. He's very sideways in the S's there.
Yeah, I mean, Tobias had a 10.1 second stop earlier on, so we know you can get tyres and a splash of fuel in that time. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Dodd. I can only put it down to a pit.
I think he must
pit
have
lane
taken
speeding or
fuel.
something like that. I mean, you just wouldn't take that much fuel, would you? I don't know. It's a mistake.
The button to turn the fuel off. I don't know. Oh, as he goes up the inside into the hairpin, tries to unsettle Rainbird here.
One more lap after this one, I think. So,
if he has taken more fuel, guys, as well than he wanted, that means that the effect of the new tyres is going to be reduced, isn't it?
Well, he's going to have a heavier car, but fresh rubber, and Rainbird's going to be lighter.
You can tell when you see these two cars on the track that Rainbird's car is slightly higher than Dodd's car, so I think you can see that Dodd's car is a little bit fatter on fuel.
It does give Dodd a bit more stability though, on all the extra weight.
It will. I mean, this car's not bad actually on the new, but when it's got a full tank and new tyres.
But Rainbird's actually pulling away from him down the straight, even when he's in the draft. So
with new rubber, you wouldn't expect that. As is the white flag out yet, Alex?
no, it's not come out as of yet. No, these guys might not make it. I haven't, indeed. White flag is out, so they're on their last lap.
Another thing we have to think as well is it's an hour and 30 plus 1 lap. So if some people are marginal on fuel, they have to do an extra lap. So
Trevor's just coming round 130 now.
So this should be, this should be now the last lap then, shouldn't it? After this one. Johnson very easy into the chicane. He's dialed the lap times back all the way into the 2:16s now. Now is that? I hope that's not fuel.
There you go. He's taking the
So
win.
he takes it. Just need to make sure, is that the end of the race, Alex? Is the checkered flag out?
Checker flag is indeed out.
Excellent. So Trevor Johnson takes a terrific victory here at Suzuka. Hard fought all the way through. Great effort there, and that's some slight redemption actually for Zolder, I think, where he caused the almighty pile-up.
Tobias comes across, takes second place. Stamenkovic coming through 130R. But what I am going to do is jump back onto this battle with Rainbird.
Sorry, Alex, did Stamenkovic have an incident on the last lap? Because he did 2:33.2. I know he's going to come over the line now, so it's not really going to matter, but lost a lot of time.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Certainly off camera if it was.
Will Dodd's going to be kicking himself. He's going to be absolutely kicking himself for both the slight error in fuel management, if that's what it was, and then for a long pit stop, which meant that any chance he had of a top 5 was just ruined. Through 130R for the last time, shadowing Rainbird, but he's nowhere near close enough to have a go up into the triangle. He tried to brake late to see what he could do, but it's going to be Nick Rainbird who takes the top 5. I did tip him for the podium, but he's done the next best thing pretty much there. Top 5 finish.
Yeah, he'll be delighted with that actually. Wow, Dodd will be kicking himself.
He'll be distraught with that, I think. It's just a
40 lap race in the end then, quite a long one. She said not far off full Formula 1 distance there.
Yeah, full Formula 1 distance around this track, 53 laps. So these guys did about 150 miles.
I'm pretty sure it felt more than 40 laps though.
Will Dodd said he got a pit lane speeding penalty on the last lap.
Yeah.
And Chris Stone actually had a... I don't know what happened on the last lap, but Stamenkovic and Stone were very close at the end.
Just running through the standings then, at the end. P1 race winner, Trevor Johnson, 18.8 seconds in front of Tobias Cherney, Richard Stamenkovic. After his escapades on the last few laps there, some 50.2 seconds behind the leader, third place, but the last of the podium spots. Chris Stone picks up 4th. Nick Rainbow will be delighted with a top 5. Will Dodd kicking himself in 6th. Luke Emerton in 7th, the first of the drivers a lap down. Chris Brooks, after blowing his engine, finishes inside the top 10 with an 8th place. He'll be delighted with that, you know, got it back to the pits, so good job for him. Shane Brook, 9th place as well. He'll be delighted with that, I think, and as will Craig Jones as well, who also had first lap issues that he's had to try and deal with, so... Brett Spicer in 11th, pretty uneventful race for Brett. Mark Noble ended up with 5 pit stops, I think it was, for Mark, yeah, so not sure what happened at the second half of the race, but dropped down from 10th to 12th. Romer Alcala also had a lot of pit stops and misjudged fuel, I think there, 5 stops in the end. 13th, Nigel Bushell in 14th. Jamie Peters in 15th. What happened to Jamie? He was right up there, but
There was
he
a
disconnected, didn't he?
disconnection.
Yeah, disconnect. That was it. So you'd be kicking yourself because that was only with about an hour and 20-minute mark. So Cedric Finsack obviously disconnected. We know in 16th, and Justin, well, I didn't even know he took to the grid. No, he didn't. 4 laps down.
Took to practice, but chickened out of the race. It's not unusual. Has hey, Dean, funny enjoyable race though, mate. Who's your driver of the day?
Yeah, it was a difficult one actually. There's plenty of stuff going on, and then everyone seemed to drop out. Chris Brooks coming back from a blown engine, that's gonna need some kind of recognition.
Yeah, yeah. Chris Stone, after getting punted off in the first corner, actually finishing 4th is not a bad effort either. I think there's a lot of good performances around. Alex, what do you think? Who stands out to you?
I think I'm going to give it to Nick Rainbird actually, just for coming through as he did there. I would have given it to Dodd, but the pit lane speeding penalties ruined that for him. So yeah, Nick Rainbird for me.
I think Rainbird actually got a speeding earlier on. He said he got 3 slowdowns for cutting the course and a pit lane speeding penalty.
Oh man.
Earlier on, so but yeah, I just think
I just quickly, before he ducks into the pits, just watching Mark Noble go around as well, and because he's now ruined the front end of that car, the custom skin that he's got for his day for the tribute. So yeah, congrats to him for bringing it home, and Trevor for picking up the prize as well for this. So
has he now ruined what was his wife's picture at the front?
Yeah. No, actually, it's on the bonnet. It's all right. Just having a quick look at it. So it's just the front bumper that he scuffed up. Dean, all that hard work you did in painting that for him, mate.
I know.
I must admit, it's a very stylish-looking skin. I like the colour scheme. So I don't know.
Actually.
I do like the colour scheme a lot. So I think Mark maybe should petition Mark to run that car a little bit more. I think I do like that. As he with some donuts there, some attempted ones at least.
Yeah, I think he's been getting tips off Spicer for them.
Oh, we saw Spicer was good at spinning earlier on. he's pretty good at it now. There we go. Lovely.
There you go.
Perfect. That's Donut City right there. Beautiful. I think Spicer's just hit the wall in the background. No, great effort there.
What we have got just down in the interview channel is Tobias. Let's bring him up and just have a quick chat with him.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting.
Hi Tobias, welcome to the commentary box.
Hello guys.
Tell us a little bit about your race today, specifically fuel strategy, and how you think that panned out.
Yeah, well, it was a very interesting race, and my fuel strategy was not to save fuel. It was just normal pushing through every stint. I checked before the race how many laps we might have to go, and then I divided my fuel into the several splits, and it would have been worked out quite well if there hadn't been this incident during the last pit stop.
So what happened in that last stop then? Sorry.
I think I went in there with 110 or so, and not 80. So I got a 16 second speeding penalty, and then it was, Trevor was gone, and but nevertheless he was so fast. I tried to pit earlier than he did, and it worked out after the first pit stop where I came back just in front of him, but I noticed that I can't hold him because he was so fast. I think we had some quite nice battles, something new. Normally one of us is driving away while the other can't follow, and now we had a few battles with always much room between us because of this Euro leg, and yeah, we were both very careful.
Yeah, I mean, it did look a little close from our point of view at one point, but it's nice to see that you're both aware of you know, the net code that's around you, and you give each other the room to anticipate for it.
Yep.
In terms of the race, you didn't look as comfortable with the car as you have done in previous races. Was that a setup change that didn't go right, or did you ruin your tyres when you were battling with Trevor?
I hadn't much time to practice this week. I did a few laps last week when during the Lime Rock week. But then I had a big gap between last Sunday and came on iRacing back on Friday evening. I did a few laps here and tried to figure out how what set would work, what can I change, and all this stuff was done Friday evening. And a little bit today I used some different sets, and then I decided for one. And yeah, it was the one from Zolder with adapted gear ratio. Yeah, I think it was okay. But Suzuka is not my favorite track, so yeah, I'm happy with the result, but I'm not happy with my performance.
Well, that's not a bad result considering it's not one of your favourite tracks.
Yeah.
What do you think the most difficult part of the track is then?
Oh. Well, in this version it's definitely the last chicane. During my yesterday, during my practice, I only yeah, made it one in 2 or 3 laps. The other times I missed the braking, or yeah, it's horrible with this car. I mean, it is a 4-wheeler and a 2-wheeler. That's why it's called Moto, and we have really problems going around this chicane. The other chicane is quite nice, but sometimes you fall back in your old rhythm and think, yeah, after the hairpin accelerating through the long right hand, oh, there was a corner. You have to brake, and then it's yeah.
I was just saying that actually before, that I used to do that on an old game where that layout was used. I used to stay to the right and then think, oh, you know, got to brake soon. Yeah. But I think everybody pretty much coped with it well. I must admit that last chicane looked tricky. Does the fact that it sort of curves to the right a little bit in the braking area, does that make it more difficult?
Well, it's somehow behind this small hill. That means that you can't really see the curbs, so you see the chicane when you're yeah, directly in front of it, and so that you have to brake quite early, and then it's yeah. I tend to brake on the right side because when I'm braking on the left, I'm always afraid to fall off the track and go into the gravel or something, and because it makes a small right-hander, and yeah, and then the curbs are quite high, and you have to go so slow. And during my practice, I got a few yeah, penalties for cutting the track there. I also got one slowdown penalty in this second lap at the 130R. I was too much on the inside, and then I had to let Trevor go. Yeah, I don't even know how many incidents I collected this time.
I've just had a look on the replay actually that yeah, you can't actually see the corner at all until you're about 20 or 30 meters away from it, so it must be very difficult. Yeah. Dean, anything for Tobias there?
No, nothing really to add, to be honest with you.
12 instants, Tobias, just to let you know, mate. Not too bad.
That's alright, that actually. An hour and 30. Alex, any more questions then for Tobias?
No, I think that pretty much covered anything. You know, congratulations again on another second place. Closed the gap on your teammate.
Yeah, thanks.
It's going to be interesting running for the rest of the championship.
Yep. And I think the next season there will be next official season, so next half of this season there will be a increase of participation, I hope, for I mean, it was a Enduro and we only had 16, 17 drivers at the start. It was a little bit, yeah, disappointing, but I hope for the next new tracks we will have a full grid again.
Yeah, I think that'll pick
I'm
back
sure
up.
we will. Alright, Tobias, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations, and we'll see you next week, or the next race, whenever that is.
I don't know yet. But for sure next week is free, and yeah, I want to give a shout out to my teammates and our team sponsor Lenovo. I also want to thank you for having these great broadcasts every time, and I think it will be very interesting to see this one, because there was a lot of action, I think, and yeah, thanks guys, and see you next time.
Cheers, boys. See you then, mate.
Thanks very much.
User was moved
Right,
out
let's
of your
bring
channel.
up Mark Noble as well.
User was moved to your
Very
channel.
honest assessment there by Tobias, Alex. He did struggle a bit more than usual today, didn't he? It was noticeable, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
But you know, going forward in the season, if he doesn't like the track, it's a great result. You know full well that if you can get a good result on your worst tracks, then it's positive, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, we're joined with Mr. Noble. Hello, buddy.
Indeed.
Welcome to the box. Tell us a little bit about your race.
Yeah, g'day boys, how you going? Good start, good first stint actually, except for the last lap. I got to slow down and let Roma and Spicer through. So it was a sort of a forced pit stop. Then I was travelling alright, the last lap again on my second stint, I was travelling pretty good, and I come into the chicane, the right-hander underneath the bridge there, and just put the power down too early, and just ruined the car.
Yeah, we were keeping an eye on your progress actually, and saw that you were in 10th for quite some time, and we did see the forced pit stop, just keeping it out of the wall there, and yeah, we were sort of hoping and praying with you know, the today and the event and the custom skin and everything that you got on, we give a shout out and let everybody know what was happening, and you know, we're rooting for a top 10 for you.
Blew it myself, mate. I should have had a top 10 actually, but anyway, that's the way it goes. No, I had a really good battle there to start with. It was really good the first 10 laps or so.
Yeah, I mean, you had a good qualifying today, and you know, it was how hard is it over an hour and 30 minutes to keep the concentration up around this track?
Mate, for an old bloke like me, my eyes are killing me actually. No, it is. It's like for anybody, it is a hard track, an hour and a half.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many corners though, isn't it? I mean, how are the arms? Are the arms okay from all, you know, from that? I mean, that's what I think it would be. So many direction changes, and it's very bumpy as well. So, I mean, is it pretty tiring, or is it just a concentration thing?
Mainly a concentration thing, mate. And, like, my arms are pretty good actually. The chicanes are, if you don't concentrate through there, the two chicanes, you know, you're gone. You lose that much time if you don't go through them right.
So, we saw that you've got a special skin on your car for this week. Is there anything you'd like to say? Anything anybody you'd like to thank? Anything that's on your mind?
I'd just like to thank you guys for putting ARL-TV for putting that on, and Mr. Prescott for painting the car for me. And a big cheerio for any of the family that are still up watching, because there was a few going to be watching tonight. So you've done a good job and watched it yet, but thanks a lot for doing it tonight too, fellas. Much appreciated.
No, you're welcome.
Thanks, mate.
You obviously we know there was a bit of a giveaway, and you were given prize money for the winner, which obviously goes to Trevor, I'm assuming. The giveaway for the most improved driver, is that something throughout the season that you're going to do and give it to somebody, or are you going to give it to someone based on today's race?
No, I was going to get you fellas to pick someone that had someone that's usually down the back and had a pretty good run. Just a little prize for them, that's all. that's the way Kim was. She just plodded along and just done what she had to do.
Well then, guys, who do we think should deserve that?
Is that for this race in general, or for
yeah,
the
that
season?
for this race, sort of, not a front runner, but someone who deserves a good shout out and who's had a good solid race.
Someone had a good race today. I think Luke Emerton had a very good race today. That's my vote.
He started 6th, finished 7th. Shane Brooks started 15th, finished 9th. Nick Rainbird 11th, finished 5th.
Nick's not a midfield runner. He can't have it.
No, he's won race. He's won a race before, hasn't he? I think so.
Craig Jones.
No, Nick told me at the start there. I said, "What are you doing behind me on the grid?" And he said, "I what did he say?" He said, "I
Did he
missed
go
the
the wrong
Do
way?
you know what? I want to give it to, and you guys can tell me what. But I want to give it to Jamie Peters, because he was having a really good race, and if it weren't for his disconnection, he would have finished right up there. And definitely a driver who I think, I know he's new to the league, but he jumped up in the last couple of races, and I think he deserves it. And for having such rotten luck to disconnect after an hour and 20 minutes of driving as well, that's a bit of a consolation for him. So,
and I'll be honest as well.
Good cause.
He sat behind his teammate for a long time. He was very disciplined. Didn't do anything stupid. And I think Mark might have beheaded him if he had. But I think I think he did a good job today. Dane,
I'll agree with that one.
All right, so that's decided then. Jamie Peters get that award.
Yeah, that's good, matey.
Well deserved.
Yeah,
Back in the team budget there, Mark.
No, Jamie's new to the team as well, new to the league, new to the team, and he's improving every week. So he's doing a good job actually.
Yeah, he was good in this race. Definitely, first time I've seen him drive, and he was pretty impressive. What's the hopes for the rest of the season, Mark? Then you've got half the season behind you. What's the personal goals and the team goals?
Team, I'd like. Oh, now that James is retired for the year, well, he's not retired probably, but just for the year. I'd probably like to see 2 of the boys in the top 10 at the end.
I think you've got a chance of that, definitely. Alex, have you got the standings there, mate? Do you know where? Figure out where.
I haven't got the updated ones, no.
Okay, hang on.
I think Will's. Yeah, I think Will's up there, isn't he? Will will be up there somewhere, I think.
Yeah, it's a good few races out in a row now, so.
And Luke improving every week. I think he'll move up the table pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's shown good pace today, good pace in qualifying. I think it remains to be seen, doesn't it, Mark? Like with the bigger grids as well. I think it's gonna really show who's quick and who's the best of that sort of midfield pack. Because I think when there's a full grid, that midfield's extremely tight, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is. It's really good racing in the mid pack there. Not that most of the time I'm not in it, but anyway, it's really good racing sometimes when we got a full grid on there.
So we go to the second half of the season, and we think we're hoping that participations they should return, shouldn't they, to what they were before?
Oh, I think so, mate. Yeah.
I think this season with the build change and stuff like that, some drivers are almost like, I need to have a little break ready for next season now. It's been quite a long one, so obviously we span across 2 seasons, so that'll make quite a difference. Get a fresh build underneath us. Maybe some of those little tweaks will be fixed from the sounds of the tyre model adjustments. It should be a little bit better and should be easier to manage the tyres and whatnot now. So I think it'd be good for next season.
I've just found the table actually, Mark, and believe Stephen McPherson will be in 10th after this race. You've got Will Dodd will be in possibly 11th.
No, that's the updated one, that Woody.
Oh, is that updated, is it now?
Yep.
Oh, you worked quickly there.
He's quick.
Yeah, so Dodd's gained 3 spots
that was
this
almost a
week,
Mawson
so
speed, wasn't it,
up
Alex?
to 12th. Tobias has taken the lead. And Trevor and Tommy are dead level on points, so I mean that's getting a bit interesting there.
In fact, not a bad move of yourself, Mark. Up 4 positions.
Yeah.
Yeah, P17 now, so
Oh, top 20.
on the way up. And you've only done 8 races as well, so you haven't done the maximum amount of races so far. So you've got time to catch up there. But we've had 40 people competing in the series this season, and you know, if we could get all of those together in one race, that'd be lovely.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. Got a few surprises for the next half of the season too, actually.
Yeah,
It's not sprinklers, is it? I know your game.
When will you be releasing the schedule for the second half of the season?
During the week, I hope. Yeah, once I talk to Mr. Prescott and James.
Great. Just
Excellent.
so sure the guys watching this will be keen to know where we're going to be racing.
There's a few little surprises.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to that schedule coming out. Thanks very much for your time, Mark, again, and love having you up in the commentary box. And like I said, we're all thinking of you this week, and we hope you have a good second half of the season.
Yeah, appreciate that, guys. Just James's mob, what is it, Coastal Kitchenware and Pagnian and ARL and ARL-TV and Kimmy's Rural Fencing.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Go ahead,
well
boys.
done, mate.
Yeah, thanks a lot, boys.
Well, so that pretty much wraps up the show, round 10, ARL V8 Supercar Series.
Yeah,
A
so
decent race, a little break next week. I don't know, Woody, you come back and you're gonna have a week off already.
I know. This other people would kill for this schedule, I'll tell you. No, it's been great to be back. I've really enjoyed it, and we saw actually it was a slow burner, wasn't it, at the start? But I think the mid part of the race got very exciting indeed, and we got a very good spectacle. So I just hope that, you know, there was a lot of regulars missing, wasn't there, today, and I think if we get at least 2/3 of those guys back, you know, we'll have 25 car grids, and that'll be perfect.
yeah, don't forget the World Cup's been on today as well. On iRacing.
It
Yeah,
also
welcome to
affects the
iRacing.
participation, so, but yeah, anyone who's watching, don't forget to go and help your club out.
Yeah, indeed. You never know. I mean, we raced in the World Cup, didn't we? Last January, and put it this way: you enter the World Cup with, and you don't expect anything. You might actually have a really good experience, and you might actually do very well. So, it's worth having a go. Right, Alex. Well, thanks very much for your company as well today, and yourself, Dean, as well. We've had a good show today, and well, everybody, enjoy your week off, and make sure you're back with us in 2 weeks' time for our next race, round 11 of the season. Thanks, mate. Well, from all of us here at ARL-TV, we've been at Suzuka today. We hope you've enjoyed it. We have, definitely, and we'll see you next time.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Travis, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4 in the checkered flag. He wins his first